Always Simba barks at the start of a live video. So, this is a little bit of a surprise for everybody because I haven't announced that I'm inviting in some special guests into the community across the next few days to talk about the More Than Enough experience. It's been a bit of a last minute thing because I love talking about More Than Enough. You know, it's my passion, it's my purpose. I have a huge vision, a massive mission for creating the global movement of enoughness activators. And I could talk about it all day long. But what I think really brings it to life is when I share some of the stories with some of the gorgeous women I've had the utter honour and privilege of working with over the last few years, who've been through this whole learning, self-discovery, subconscious transformation themselves. So I'm going to let them tell you about More Than Enough in their own words. So that's very exciting. So welcome, Victoria. Victoria G is in the house tonight. Well, tonight, this afternoon, very sunny, glorious afternoon it is. And I'm thrilled to have you here to tell us about your More Than Enough experience, because it's been incredibly empowering for you, I know, on so many levels. And you're going to tell us a little bit about that this afternoon. Are you ready?
Yes. I'm so pleased to be able to kind of share, but yeah, I am nervous. I just put that out there, but this is all good.
Exactly. Stepping up into next level. That's exactly what we encourage everybody to do on the More Than Enough experience, is get out of comfort zones. And so you're having a great experiment on that this afternoon.
Great opportunity.
Brilliant. So we're going to just tell the audience a little bit about yourself, Victoria, a bit about your life and where you were before you came across the More Than Enough experience. So tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Sure. So I guess there was a bit of a backstory as to how I found personal development. That whole world of well-being and personal development wasn't something that was in my life. I'm 42 now, and I kind of found that world at about 38. And it really was through a culmination of things, I guess, but the short version, it was really corporate burnout was the trigger, and going into early menopause, which also feels like a burnout as well. So it was like double burnout.
Yeah.
And just kind of reaching a place in my life, I think that kind of both kind of coming together, maybe sit there and I would say sit there silently questioning, but I was sobbing sobbing out of control, and I was just questioning, like, why do I feel like this, you know, and why don't I feel enough? And I'd had this blossoming career that I had really enjoyed and was so passionate about, and to lose that passion and really link it to, all of a sudden I didn't have any belief in myself. And I say all of a sudden, but when you go into kind of the personal development world, you kind of look back a little bit deeper, you kind of realize it really was just all of the things that I've done in life, that you've given yourself out into so many different places. And you know, I'm grateful for that. I don't, you know, I've loved the life that I've lived up until this point, all of the hardships that, you know, as well, and all of the beauty in that mess. But yeah, I guess I don't know if I've answered that question, but that's kind of where I was before I got into the personal development world. And I think I can't even remember now how I really entered into that world, but it was like a Pandora's box of this kind of these secret treasures that I was like, why has people not been telling us about this before? Just, yeah, you know, it's been phenomenal. Yeah, and it doesn't stop.
No,
warning.
So there's been some, you know, real big life occurrences, hasn't there, which brought you to a point of questioning everything. Life felt very messy all over the place, and you were really beginning to open up to a new way of dealing with the chaos that life can bring to us, like mentally, physically, and emotionally, can't they? So I remember I know your story very well. We've worked very closely together, and I know it's been a really tough, turbulent time for you. So to watch you blossom through this process.
I gave up my career, and there were a few other things, you know, there's always love and breakups and heartaches, isn't there, thrown in for good measure. I was just so lost, and I'd never felt that way before in my life. So that was quite a scary feeling, because, you know, sometimes you can feel things previously and think, okay, this might not be nice, but I felt this before. But this was a whole new feeling of just feeling completely lost, and, you know, genuinely not knowing who I was, how did I get here, where do I want to go? What's ahead of me? Is there anything ahead of me? It was I didn't want to kind of go too dark, and it's not the right space to do that instead, but it was in a really, really dark place. So the fact that I'm here and on this call, it's, for me, this is just a mind-blowing moment and a real milestone, don't you think? Because the full kind of backstory.
I've got goosebumps because I'm just so proud of your evolution and, the way that you show up and just continue to keep showing up and doing the work. It's just an honor to get to work with you. So I'm so grateful our paths have crossed. So life was a bit messy. There was a lot of challenge. I say a bit messy, quite messy, lots of challenges, lots going on. Then along came the More Than Enough method. So tell us what you have enjoyed the most, the kind of impact that it's had upon you in all the different areas of your life, and we'll see where that goes.
I mean, you set us a challenge, because to be able to pick a couple of things to talk about, it's just so cool. But you say the word impact, and when I kind of think about impact, I mean, there really genuinely is so many things, but for me, the thing that really wants to kind of explode out of me is that feeling of not being alone, because I was in a really pit of loneliness, and I will always be true. And it's not like I'm sitting here not lonely. Like, I absolutely still get lonely moments, but they're not as dark, and you're not in the depths of despair about it. Like, I know how to handle that feeling. I know how to honor that feeling. I also know I have more control in inviting different things into my life that can fill that spot, and also just to be okay with that. And I think that because I was feeling this such a strong, I can't even put it into words, but that I can even feel it in my body now, that feeling of loneliness when I was in this group, because it's a group program. These incredible women that are hiding in their lives, that have all reached from very different places and experiences, and our lives look completely different to each other, but that we have this collective feeling of not feeling good enough, and the amount of magic that we all genuinely hold that isn't being let out into the world. And you think, oh my god, but there's so much you could be doing, and everyone needs this person in their life, and that they're sat there not feeling like that. And when I was watching these women, I was going, but I wonder if that's what they think about me, because I feel like I'm not enough, and I feel like I'm like really lonely or lost. But then I'm looking at these other women in the program thinking, hell girl, you've got so much to give to the world. And it then kind of dawned on me that actually, surely I can't be the only one thinking about this about everyone, and no one's thinking that about me. So that was really impactful, to kind of have this shared experience, but also story. I think we're not on our own, and there are so many people feeling a similar way for very different reasons. And for me, what I really enjoyed is that creates a bit of a shared purpose, or a lot of a shared purpose, when you're going through the program and you're in the shared spaces, whether that be the live calls or the Facebook groups that get set up for us. Like, there's a shared purpose, because we've got here for a different reason, but we're here for the same reason, which is to work out, like, what's that next step, or why am I holding myself back, and I feel completely lost, whatever that is, and that umbrella of not feeling enough. And so we've got that shared purpose. You become genuine cheerleaders of each other, and that feels so nice. Like, and I think it's so true. Like, when you need help, the best medicine is to cheerlead somebody else, whilst you're at the same time looking after yourself. And it really just gives you that sense of connection that I think so many of us do feel we don't have enough of that in our lives. And that's even pre the C word. I'm not going to say the word. But even before that, because my journey was before that, so many people, I think, are missing that connection, just the way that life is now.
As we know, it's one of our basic emotional needs, is to feel like, to give and receive attention, and to have that connection not only to ourselves but to something bigger than ourselves. And that's exactly what the More Than Enough community does, is keep us tightly connected with really deep and meaningful conversations. And like, just to touch on a couple of things that you said there, this whole idea of having our inner critic, which keeps us playing small, which is really, really so damaging, so toxic, because that narrative isn't the truth. When we look at what other people are seeing and observing and witnessing, because they can't hear that narrative, there's such a mismatch. And I know for myself personally, that was such a breakthrough in my confidence growth, is realizing that what I felt inside, I was not projecting. Like, people were seeing the best of me. There was a mismatch from my internal narrative to the way that I was projecting myself and the way other people perceived me. And I think that alone is like game changing. So thank you for sharing that so beautifully.
And you really shone a light on that, and shine a light on that on each group. Yeah, is you're the people aren't thinking of you what you're thinking of yourself, and so probably what you're telling yourself just isn't true. And it's so true, because I've had so many conversations where people say, oh, but I wouldn't think that of you, or oh, but I think that of you. I'm like, that's not what I would think of myself. And then it really makes you dig deep and go, well, if other people are seeing this in me, it must be true. And so you then help us find that in ourselves, because it's lovely hearing it from others, and it's a gorgeous feeling, but if other people are saying it and you don't believe it, there's still that disconnect. And I feel like this program, it just connects those two together. It's almost like, here's reality and here's not reality, and I can't remember which hand I use now, but you bring it I don't know which one represented which, but you bring that together, you fuse the reality into our bodies, where we can then say, yeah, that's me. Yeah, people think this of me, but guess what? Even better, I think it of myself.
Yes, that internal validation piece, definitely. And it's just, helping women really discover their own self-belief and be able to fuel that themselves with the support of the sisterhood, of course, because, that is just such a beautiful part of the process. But being able to self-serve ourselves, self-soothe ourselves, and do that from a level where it becomes habitual, where it is an autopilot, because we're working at the level of the subconscious. This isn't straight coaching, the program. We include loads of hypnotherapy, psychotherapy, emotional freedom technique. So you're getting a real blend of all of my best modalities, along with tons of theory, tons of science, like tons of really cool experiences. There's really nothing else quite like the More Than Enough experience.
I can totally support that. There really isn't. Like, it's such a potent mix of ingredients. I had found Naomi having already had a one-to-one 6-month experience with another coach, and so that's what I love about this program as well, is that it's not just for first timers. It really suits so many people. Once you're in that world of personal development, like, I could never now not be in something, and that was really hard once you've done a program as well, and you think, and mine was one-to-one, so I really wanted that group experience. That was the next thing. I was like, oh, I wonder what it's like to be in a group. I think it's so hard once you've done a program before and you think, oh, well, what next? What can something else offer me? Will I just be getting the same? And it's been a completely different experience, because you're evolving as well as you're going through these programs. So yeah, if there's a fear that someone has done either a group program before or a one-to-one program before, and they're thinking, oh, I need to work out where best to place my money and what am I going to get from this, it's going to be a completely different journey. It really is, for all the that you've just said.
Yeah, and we're coming into round 5 now, and even the way that More Than Enough evolves is different every time. It's deeper and richer and more transformative, because I'm learning and growing as a coach and a therapist and a leader, a conscious leader, and I want to bring more in. So it's ever evolving. We're all evolving and we're all growing and we're all just on the journey together, which is what I just love so much. We have really the best community. So, Victoria, final question. Yeah. What is it then? So you've had this incredibly transformational experience. What is it that you can do now that you couldn't do before? And tell us about your plans for the future, because it's all brewing so beautifully, I know.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, you want to touch on that? Okay. First, from talking about if I was just coming out of the program, and like what is it something that I can do now without the bigger picture, which I can touch on for sure. I was thinking about this, is like, I think where you bring a real balance between like the spiritual woo-woo side, or however people like to describe that, and
the magic.
The magical woo-woo, spiritual, awesome, unexplainable stuff, and then the scientific, logical element that just are very symbiotic to each other. For me, I've learned that, you know, we're not always going to be, if you're somebody that enjoys the more spiritual side of things, as I'm growing that side of myself, which I love, you know, I can't always be in that space all the time because I'm still learning it. But also being logical is something that I enjoy, and it helps things kind of stick more into me. But again, I'm not always in that logical mind, so I'm able to tap into the two blends that you teach of how I'm feeling in any day. Like, am I feeling like I need to be more logical, and I can think myself through what the steps are that you put us in the program, or am I feeling like I want to feel my way through it, in which case I kind of tap into the energetics that you teach us as well from the magic spiritual woo-woo side. So I kind of feel that I therefore have a blended toolkit that suits me on any day. And I think that was the gap I was really missing, is that if I go down this route when I'm not feeling it every day, because you're not going to feel the same every day, then I don't have a tool, and then it starts to unravel, because then I can't self-coach myself. But now I just feel like I've got, you know, different, you know, it's a different tools to represent how you're going to feel different in each day, you know, and all of that is okay, you know, whether you're feeling logical or spiritual, a blend, it's all okay, and we've got a tool for all of that. So for me, I kind of came up with that. If I can't feel it, I can logic it, is something that was coming up for me about the tools. But then in terms of going more personal, I'm part of Naomi's academy, so I'm learning how to become a facilitator in the
so much. You want to take it out into the world. That just like thrills me.
Yeah, which, you know, is just, without the course it would never be happening. So yeah. But I think 2022 is going to be the year for a lot of us. I can feel it, really feel it.
Yeah, I've been getting full body goosebumps the whole way through this conversation. So I just know that we're on the right track and we're in the right space at the right time together. Like, you bring so much to our community. You've had such a transformational experience that you had a bit of an inkling that I'd quite like to get into the coaching world. And I think what we've done together over the previous months is really build your self-belief up that you can go out there and also deliver this impact and have the financial, emotional and lifestyle freedom that you dream of. And that's the next step, freedom.
Yeah. Oh, it's delicious. It's like, if you could make that into a plate of food, I'd be wanting to eat that up. Like, I'm salivating. It just sounds
devour the deliciousness of it all. Oh, Victoria, now where can people follow you? Because I know you're very much starting out on your More Than Enough career, so direct us to your Instagram so that people want to keep an eye on how your progress flourishes into the world.
My Instagram as another courageous step. And my Instagram handle is quite simple, is at I am Victoria Graham. So it's my name. I was about to say just, and I don't like that word. I was going to say it's just my name, but it's my name.
It's your name. Owning it. I'm loving that. The empowered version of it. Yeah. Thank you, Glorious. If you want to just pop it into the comments box, I'm going to just read out some of Sharon's comments here, because Sharon is also one of our More Than Enough graduates. We'd love to chat to you, Sharon, over the coming days. We're trying to spread the love for More Than Enough across the globe, and I can't do this work by myself. There's so much need for the reactivation of our enoughness at the level of the subconscious that I need an army, and I'm so thrilled that so many women are putting themselves forward, not just women, all folk. Like, I need to really be mindful of my language, because there are so many of us that are struggling with our self-esteem, self-confidence, with anxiety, with worry, with that emotional health. Like, put your hand up and raise if you need the support, because we are building an army of enoughness reactivators. This is what these guys are training to do now. Oh, Simba. But I'm just going to read Sharon's comments out. Let's pop them up on the screen. So Sharon's just sharing that it's the most fabulous program, of course, that she's ever taken. And I know Sharon is a personal development and a spiritual junkie. Like, she does all of the courses. So that particular compliment, that means the world to me, Sharon. It really sparks the power within you. There's so much science, knowledge, and so much support, so much kindness. And Naomi grows. It gets better and better. Thank thank you, Sharon, for that one. And then this one's here. Simba, please. I'm broadcasting live, dog. So Sharon said that science and magic are the same things with different language, and how to feel the feelings of the stories to be transient through them rather than become them, and so much confidence to launch her Power Joy online mentorship. Yes, because our training academy isn't just about teaching you how to do what I do, but also how to launch your own online or events-based business. So we do something called Simple Soulful Business School. Like, I really hold your hand for a whole year of getting you skilled, talented, working on your self-belief, because I've got all the skills to do that, but also showing you how you can run your own business, because that's the missing piece of the story in many training schools as well. I want to show you how to take it out into the world, because I've got 11 years experience of building wellness brands now. So, oh, it's so exciting. The doors are open, people, for More Than Enough round 5. We start not next week, the week after. Like, it truly is a glorious, life-changing experience. I really encourage you to go and check out. You can see the link down there. It's naominewland.com. In fact, if you go there and go to the header on my website, you've got a direct link into the More Than Enough 5 experience. It will show you the absolute abundance of resources and how that More Than Enough is totally different to any other personal transformational program, because we work at the level of the consciousness, the subconscious, the energy form, and our physical form. I've got loads of experts. It's not just me. Like, there is a whole vault of resources in there. We have live coaching calls, we have a Facebook, we have a sister, we have accountability calls. Like, it really is very nourishing, very just all of the adjectives. So if you want more purpose, more passion, more positivity, and to just have more of a sense of inner peace and be so much kinder to yourself, I think that's the number one thing I think that I want to get across, that we can really be so much more self-accepting and have so much more compassion for ourselves, and that changes our mindset automatically, and that changes the way we show up in the world, which changes our environment. So it's a great time to be doing the work in such a fun way. We have a lot of fun too, right?
So much. It's like a roller coaster of emotions and fun and joy. It's so hard to put into words. It really is, because you want to obviously be able to explain it to others so they know what they would be stepping into. But you know, you just have to do it you just have to do it. That's just all I can say. And and like, I'm going to be repeating the More Than Enough program for myself and my own personal choice, because there's so much to learn and of yourself, that you know that by going back over the rounds, that you know, you just get to know yourself on a whole nother layer. So like, I loved it so much. Not only am I training in it, but I'm like doing another round. I can't not be in this.
And it's just like loyalty stamps or something, one of those cards, like a loyalty stamp. Fill your card.
Sometimes you enough. I love it, and because you put a different spin on it each time. Like, you know, you and as you say, you kind of bring in whatever it is that you've learned and evolved, and you can really feel
community needs. Yeah.
So it's different each time, and I was like, what am I going to do with my life if I'm not in this sisterhood? Hell, sign me up for another. Like,
we love you. You bring so much energy, so much light, so many great breakthrough moments that you've shared, and you know, facilitated with the sisters and all the trainees we've been working with. Like, it's been so beautiful. Like, thrilled to bits to have you in our community. Thank you for your time. Absolutely love chatting to you. If anyone's got any questions, you know, drop them in the comments and we'll both come back and answer them later. So thank you.
Want to reach out to me, you know, to discuss up my journey in the More Than Enough world, you know, please do. I'm open book, so you can ask me anything. Yeah, that helps them decide.
Have a super powered Friday and a wonderful weekend, everyone. I'm going to be popping on all for the rest of the day, and maybe at the weekend or maybe next week. I don't know when I'm going to squeeze it all in, but I've got so many stories I'd love to share with you, because I want you to really get an idea that if one woman can, any woman can. And I say woman, one human can, any human can. We're here for it all. Thank you, darling, so much. Love. Bye-bye.